Hello and welcome to Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Nimasa This Week is brought to you by the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency, the nation's apex regulator and promoter of all things maritime. As always, my name is Ubonge Siem, and I will be your guide on this voyage.
This is Princess Vicky Astrop, the Executive Vice Chairman, CEO, ENL Consortium Limited, and you are watching Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. Stay tuned.
In case you're just joining us, it's still Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. On today's episode, we'll dive straight into the Director General's diary. What has the DG of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, been up to in the past 1 week? I can tell you for sure that he has been quite busy. Back-to-back engagements from Lagos to Abuja, all in a bid to address the triple issues of maritime security, maritime safety, and shipping development. We'll find out more on DG's diary. Thereafter, we'll go straight into our Inside Shipping segment. And on today's episode of Inside Shipping, we take a look at the triad issues of ship detention, ship infraction, and ship release. Why would Nimasa, the apex regulator of the Nigerian maritime space, detain any vessel? You'll get to find out more about what those expectations are, so that shipping companies can do the needful on a regular basis in order not to fall foul of the various laws of the seas. Finally, on our nautical chart, our conversation with a major stakeholder of the seas. I'm talking about no less a person than Mr. Aminu Umar. Aminu Umar is the chief executive of Sea Transport Services, and he's turned out to be not just a young man, but of course, a major player in the Nigerian maritime space, especially as it relates to indigenous players. There's a lot to learn from our conversation. So if you're ready, as we say right here in Nimasa, it's anchors away.
The Danish ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Jesper Kemp, played host to the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, at the Danish embassy in Abuja recently. The bilateral meeting addressed some of the concerns as it relates to the recent incident and happening at the Gulf of Guinea, and sought ways the Danish embassy could be of assistance to the Nigerian government. The ambassador raised his concern about the increase in piracy attacks in the Gulf of Guinea and how best it can be tackled. He acknowledged that this is a regional challenge that needs to be addressed beyond just Nigeria, and expressed his country's willingness to support Nigeria in this regard. The meeting also focused on the safety of seafarers and assets in the Gulf of Guinea, capacity building by Danish Navy security forces to assist the Nigerian Navy, and how to develop a more robust maritime security strategy in collaboration with the United Nations Offense and Drugs and Crime, UNODC. The DG appreciated the efforts of the Danish government towards assisting in the fight against piracy. He went further to highlight the assets of the Deep Blue project, which Nimasa would soon deploy in March to tackle piracy. Dr. Jamo explained how the legal framework in the anti-piracy law has helped in prosecuting pirates and the agency's numerous achievements. The DG regretted a recent attack with the Liberian-flagged vessel MV Mozart, which resulted in the loss of life of a seafarer, but assured the ambassador that Nimasa is doing everything possible to assist in investigating and bringing the perpetrators to justice. During this session, there was a formal handover of video teleconference equipment to Nimasa, donated by the United Nations Office on Drugs and Crime, UNODC, with generous support of the Danish Ministry of Foreign Affairs. The Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, has paid a courtesy visit to the National Security Advisor, NSA, General Babangana Mongono, retired, in a move to address maritime crime on Nigerian territorial waters up to the Gulf of Guinea. Dr. Jamo expressed his concern over the recent attacks on ships and sought for the collaboration of the NSA in advanced strategies to curb piracy and other maritime crimes in Nigerian waters and beyond. In his response, the NSA expressed his readiness to work with Nimasa and other stakeholders to put an end to the attacks and secure Nigeria's maritime assets for the benefit of all. He ensured the DG that the National Security Council will deliberate on the issue at its next meeting. In an effort to carry all stakeholders along in the collaborative fight against piracy and criminality on our waterways, the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, was at the U.S. Embassy to inform the U.S. Ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Mary Beth Leonard, about the challenges and the effort his agency has been putting in place to address the issue of maritime security. The DG informed the Ambassador of the Nimasa maritime security assets coming on board under the Deep Blue project, which is set to take off very soon, with about 85% of the assets underground. He stated that the project consists of 3 special mission helicopters, 2 special mission aircraft, 2 special mission vessels, 17 interceptor vessels, 4 unmanned air drone, 16 armored vehicles, and a C4I center that coordinates the information gathering and sharing. The Ambassador, Mary Beth Leonard, expressed her delight at the positive progress that Nigeria is making towards a holistic solution to the problem of maritime insecurity through the Deep Blue project, and urged Jamo to see to the speedy and utmost implementation of the Deep Blue project. The Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, Ambassador Melih Yulren, recently played host to the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, in Abuja to discuss issues relating to the kidnapping of 15 Turkish seafarers on board a Liberian-flagged vessel outside Nigerian waters. In his opening remarks, the ambassador appealed to the Nigerian government and Nimasa to ensure the speedy rescue of 15 Turkish seafarers recently kidnapped and reunite the seafarers with their respective families in Turkey. Ambassador Yulren also inquired to know if Nimasa needed help from the Turkish government and sought to know what Nimasa is doing about the spate of attacks in the Gulf of Guinea. The DG, Dr. Bashir Jamo, in his response, said that the Nigerian government is doing everything humanly possible to ensure that these sea pirates are identified and the nationality known since the incident happened outside Nigerian territorial waters. Dr. Jamo made it known that the Minister of Transportation has approved the deployment of 2 special mission vessels under the Deep Blue project to immediately move towards the area of the kidnapped victims to support the rescue mission. Finally, the DG promised that Nimasa would continue to provide all help needed till the 15 Turkish seafarers regain their freedom, including deploying Nimasa's helicopters if the need arises in the rescue mission. The Turkish ambassador thanked the DG and his team for honoring his invitation and reassuring the Turkish government on the rescue efforts by Nimasa and the Nigerian government as a whole to ensure the safe return of the Turkish citizens. In an effort to rid the Nigerian maritime space of the scourge of piracy, the Director General of Nimasa, Dr. Bashir Jamo, visited the new Chief of Naval Staff, Rear Admiral Awal Zebir Gambo. While congratulating the Navy Chief on his recent appointment, the DG used the opportunity to brief him on the current security situation regarding the maritime sector and explained the need for prompt action against security threats on the high seas. Rear Admiral Gambo thanked the DG for his visit and stated his approval for the deployment of 2 special mission vessels of the Deep Blue project, namely DB Abuja and DB Lagos. Rear Admiral Gambo also approved the release of naval personnel to man both vessels and other logistics involved in the deployment of the vessels. Gambo, however, explained that personnel to be deployed must be those trained under the Deep Blue project who already understand the technical know-how of the vessel's operations. With the approval of the deployment of special mission vessels, it will restore the confidence of all stakeholders who have expressed great concerns over a series of attacks in the past few weeks.
You're welcome to Inside Shipping segments on Nimasa this week, the voice of maritime. My name is Bukola Babadele, and on this voyage, we will be looking into vessel detraction, infraction, and release. And with me on this voyage is Engineer Basi Akwan, a Port State Control Officer of Nimasa. You're welcome on this program, sir.
Thank you.
Sir, having inspected several vessels that have vested on Nigerian waterways, alongside your safety team of experts, please tell us what vessel infraction, detention, and release is all about. Thank you.
Okay. Actually, vessel infraction talk about the deficiency found during post-state inspection campaign. So, and usually we board various vessels, so many vessels, and we inspect the vessel according to international convention, the IMO conventions. So, and we found some deficiencies. So some of the deficiencies are detainable, some are not detainable. Most of the detainable deficiencies are those deficiencies that cause unnecessary risk to the vessel, to the crew, and to the marine environment.
So those are what you call infractions?
Infractions, yes.
Okay, go ahead.
So when the vessels have major deficiency, detainable deficiency, the vessel is detained, and we ask the captain or the master to rectify the deficiency before the vessel can sail off.
That's the release?
Yes.
So we have talked about infraction. Those are the things that make it worthy of being detained.
Yes.
Then detention and then release.
Yes.
Please, could you enlighten more on why you particularly wanted, out of all the vessels you inspected today, you found this particular one worthy of being detained?
Okay, this is a container vessel that called into our port. It's a foreign vessel. During the process of post-state inspection campaign, we inspected the vessel and we found out that the vessel has about 13 deficiencies. And out of that 13 deficiency, 3 of those deficiencies were detainable. So we issued the master a detention order.
Could you give us an example?
An example, when we went down to the engine room to inspect, the vessel auxiliary engine, that is the generators, were leaking badly. This might be result to fire, so that's why the vessel was detained. No. One other detainable deficiency was the hash cover. It has a rubber seal, so it was completely out. It was completely out of service. So which could result to maybe contamination of the cargo, maybe rainfall gets into the cargo hold, and even it can cause vessel to lease to one side when so much rainwater go into the cargo hold. Yeah.
So on a nicer note, what period or duration do you think it will take before this vessel will get to be released?
That depends on the master of the vessel, because once the detention order was given to the master, there was an instruction that the deficiencies should be rectified before the vessel can sail. So as soon as the master is able to rectify the deficiency, we will be able to release the vessel. So we know how important the vessel must sail without waste of time.
Yeah. So that makes it certified based on international shipping standards?
Yes, that's correct.
Okay. Thank you very much, Mr. Basi. It's a pleasure having you on this voyage.
Thank you.
Yes, for how ships on Nigerian waters, foreign ships in particular, are being controlled and monitored in compliance with international shipping standards. There you have it. Nimasa this week will be right back.
My name is Margaret Orakusi, Chairman, Ship Owners Forum of Nigeria, a fisherwoman, and I will tell you, if you really want to learn much about the maritime sector, the opportunities therein for you to come in and either educate yourself or invest in. Try watching Nimasa this week. This is the voice of maritime. Stay tuned.
Well, first, before we go into 2021, we do an overview of 2020. 2020 has been a challenging year for almost everybody globally. Maritime sector is not out, is not singled out. Though in 2020 we have seen periods where our shipping, particularly in the tanker business, have made very huge earnings, which was a very big plus in the first quarter of 2020. But subsequently, 2020 has been very, very a depressed year for most of shipping because freights are very, very low. Now, coming to 2021, 2021 looks very promising. Today, in the business, freights have been going up. The dry cargo side, which is bulk carriers that bring cement, salt, wheat, we have seen the freight going up. A lot of investment coming into that business. And in the tanker market also, we have now, this end of January, have seen tanker market freight globally going very going up. And we believe that the outlook for 2021 has always looked very bright for tanker business, for the freight in the world. Also, we have seen the changes due to the change of government in the US, because we have seen that now US market or US Gulf is one of the freight or shipping trade route have significantly gone up, and because that has gone up, it has completely changed the freight rate for particularly West Africa, which today we are one of the largest importers of petroleum product in the compared to the rest of the world. And this route has seen significant freight increase. And this is really showing that 2021 we are going to see the future looks very bright for shipping. First and foremost, one of our major issues for every ship owner or every investor in maritime and shipping is the security situation. You will see that in the media and wherever you see a lot of issues relating to piracy. And Gulf of Guinea has shown that it's continuously having this challenge. I am sure that with the new management in Nimasa and the minister of our Minister of Transportation has indicated there is a new thing coming up, a strategy, the Deep Blue project. And we believe with that, we will see a lot of changes in this regard. So this is one aspect. The second aspect, which as a ship owner we have been engaging with the government, is the issue of intervention funds. You will notice that particularly in Nigeria, almost all sectors were given intervention fund in 2021. But in 2020, during the COVID-19, and even before COVID-19, if we look at our sister sector like aviation, they have seen so many intervention funds. But unfortunately for us in maritime, we have not seen any yet. So we have engaged many times with our regulators. The new management of Nimasa have already, we have seen a lot of activity now, and it is in the pipeline, and we are grateful to the DG that this time around we believe that our interventions on particularly the CVFF will materialize. truly I would like to say that we have seen this time around we have a DG that is really very pushing. We have, I will tell you some significant steps that he has taken, which is really, we have not seen it before. Today, particularly in the tanker business, it has, we were, for the first time in 2021, we have seen where the contracts given by NNPC for importation of this CPP, the contract now have a clause that says you must engage a Nigerian shipping company. This is what many ship owners have been battling for years. For the past 20-25 years that I've been in this industry, I have seen all the ship owners battle for this, but 2021, we are, thanks to Almighty God, thanks to the management of and executive of Nimasa, the DG, the Minister of Transportation, as well as NCDNB, they all participated to make sure that this clause now is put in the contracts, which has never happened before. This is a significant achievement. It's a major achievement in the business. And second achievement that I've seen that which this DG have done, and we're really grateful to him, is this fiscal incentive. For the first time, the Ministry of Finance have called upon we, the stakeholders, to come and sit with them to discuss the incentives, and they have put in a committee, a technical committee, to look at the incentive to mirror in what they're getting in aviation, so that it will be replicated on the maritime sector. This we have never seen before, and we really thank the DG for his effort, because he has pushed in, and we, the stakeholders associations, have gone to have a meeting, and also the Minister of Transportation, they have all pushed in for us to get this. So we hope that it comes to fruition. We are waiting for the final announcement or approval of Mr. President, and then we will all celebrate this very major achievement.
Welcome back. It's still Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. At this point, we'd like to read to you tweets from the DG of Nimasa from his Twitter handle @JamoBashir. This week, we're reading to you 2 tweets from the DG. First one, from his visit to the Turkish ambassador. The Turkish ambassador to Nigeria, His Excellency Ambassador Melih Huleren, played host to Nimasa in Abuja to discuss the attack on MV Mozart. And according to the DG, he says, I assured him that we are doing our best for the safe return of the 15 kidnapped Turkish seamen on board the Liberian flagged vessel outside Nigerian waters. And the second tweet is about the DG's visit with the US ambassador at the US Embassy in Lagos. In his words, the partners were delighted at Nigeria's positive progress and holistic solution to the maritime insecurity issues, and urged speedy and full implementation. There you have it. You can continue by following the DG of Nimasa at his Twitter handle @JamoBashir. The hashtag to use is the voice of maritime. Also, you can visit our official Twitter handle @Nimasa Official, as displayed on your screen. And there's the official website of Nimasa, where you can get additional information week on week with regards to the various activities, initiatives, and policies of the Nigerian Maritime Administration and Safety Agency. We hope you've enjoyed today's episode of Nimasa This Week, the voice of maritime. I leave you with a famous saying in nautical circles, that the good seaman weathers the storm he cannot avoid. But the good seaman is also smart enough to avoid the storms he cannot weather. Until I see you next time, my name remains Ubong Isien. I say to you, stay on course. Bye-bye.